If I was in Durk's position, right, when we first got indicted for the for hire, I would have quickly lawyered up OTF Vonnie, OTF Jam, because now we part of one firm. When you got a dream team, right? If I got Lance Lazaro, Don Florio, Ian Niles, right? They dream team, right? But one is on me, one is on my mans, the other one is on my mans, and then their paralegals is on them. Ain't no way you gonna tell because everything's gonna get back to me.
This kind of smart. Yeah, he did snitch. However, 6ix9ine was too smart to fall for the street propaganda, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, yo, screw all that. I'm snitching because these try to kill me. I don't even care. It is what it is. And then look at him. He rich in his big house, still doing whatever the fuck he wants. He did win. Lil Durk can't be this stupid. So we all know that Lil Durk is behind bars currently. When is he getting out? Only Lord knows if he gets out at that. But apparently his situation is getting worse.
Lil Durk can't be this stupid. I refuse to believe Lil Durk is this stupid. Right? The respect I have for Lil Durk is dwindling as the day go by. Lil Durk was back in court today, man, and all we got was bad news from the court proceedings. We ain't getting out one good news. But I feel like the worst part about this court proceeding is them finally revealing what exactly the antagonist was in Lil Durk's life that made him go down his murderous spree, right? The antagonist that got Lil Durk currently in jail on Fed charges, facing the rest of his life in prison. You know who convinced Lil Durk to slap Avant? You won't believe it, people. You won't believe this, man.
All right, so I'm here outside the courthouse. I just saw Lil Durk's last hearing, and there was a lot of really big information that just came out. Now, I'm going to do a bunch of breakdowns of all the information, but I'm going to hit you with...
Whack 100 and 6ix9ine. He fell for the rage bait. He was rage baiting into sliding.
The craziest piece of information that came up first. I could not believe it. They brought up Whack 100 and 6ix9ine in Durk's hearing. Now, this is insane. So they were basically arguing over a certain exhibit and like whether or not it should be allowed to be used. And they pretty much said that there was a podcast clip of the 6ix9ine and Whack 100 interview that they basically wanted to use. The defense for Durk was fighting for it not to be included, and this is what's crazy. Now look, before I get attacked, before I get in any trouble, okay, I'm not saying Whack 100's a snitch or that he's cooperating or that he's part of this case. Same goes for 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine's not cooperating against Durk. He's not part of the case, but the interview between Whack 100 and 6ix9ine was brought up. The feds are planning to use it as evidence of what, you might ask?
Madness.
When I heard this, bruh, I was baffled. Like, I was literally stunned. Let's play the podcast clip they're referring to. So this is the clip where 6ix9ine is pressing Whack 100 on why Whack 100 considers Lil Durk a gangster and why hip-hop considers Lil Durk a gangster. And 6ix9ine is telling Whack that Lil Durk can't be considered a gangster because of this.
Pull me out. They know the exact same. I'm not bringing this off topic. Let me just get this on my chest. They know the exact. Put a 10 bullets in King Von and he died there by himself. Why nobody slid for that? I don't see you on Instagram saying, yo,
first of all,
go slide for that, man. Y'all know what y'all saying? Yo, y'all want this crash
I'm gonna be real with you.
No.
Hold on. Hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold
if
on.
I didn't go hit that kid at me,
Hold on.
why this shooting
Let
a
me
nigga
be real with you.
nigga?
Let me be real with you. I
don't see you on Instagram say, yo, Durk, go slide for your man.
I discovered King Von.
No, I don't want to talk about King Von.
So
why
I don't know. I don't know no politics. And listen,
why is not sliding on?
How you know what they doing? Just because it ain't publicized on social media, how you know? How you know?
The feds are saying they got proof that Lil Durk.
Yo, this nigga Lil Durk was watching that shit like this. Bro started tweaking. Bro was like, yo, I need a slide. I need a slide for King Von, bro. That's insanity, bro. He let them rage bait him, bro. Also, make sure you guys like the video. This helps me out a lot. But I appreciate all of you guys, and let's get back into the video.
Went on the murderous spree of Quando Rondo's cousin, that Lil Durk packed up a bunch of ashy goons put them on a private jet, paid for, like their planes, pay for their travel, pay for their guns, pay for their rental cars, and instructed them to murder Quantarono's cousin. And the reason why he did that was because 6ix9ine told him on a podcast to go slap a vine. You can't make this up, people.
They're saying there is evidence that this podcast...
Nah, but he was probably planning on doing it regardless. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas was moving egregiously. Even like before this, they was moving egregiously. Vaughn, that nigga was like a serial killer damn there, bro. You know what I'm saying? They say he got too many bodies. Too many bodies. Why Durk gotta be the one to slide? What about the people that was sliding with King Von? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, somebody need to handle that. You feel me? But it didn't need to be Durk. It didn't need to be Durk. You didn't need to do this to yourself. You making too much money. Niggas get millions and then still want to be in the street doing street shit. No, bro. What did old boy say? He said, I wanna get rich and act like I don't know nobody.
My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
Yeah. That's the shit you need to be on, bruh. Get rich, get out of the trap. It is what it is, bro. Everybody else that stayed in there, take a couple people with you. Oh, you my dog, come ride with me. Soon as you think you bigger than the program though, and start fucking up the program, I'm sending your ass back to the trap. And you're gonna have to eat that. Eat that. Pause. Type shit.
Where 6ix9ine was talking his shit against Durk, talking about, slide for Von. He said that dudes were gonna slide. If I die, we're boosting the murder rate. Dudes are gonna slide every day. All of that stuff. They're basically saying that this was evidence that this podcast blew up. It was one of the biggest aspects of the Slide for Von campaign. The feds literally just said it themselves that 6ix9ine and Whack 100 on that podcast, that was like the all-star team of the Slide for Von campaign. They're saying that people, they were basically saying that, they said that a confidential witness had claimed that Durk had seen the clip. Durk's defense were arguing, no, they hadn't said that he'd specifically been sent the clip, but he acknowledged that, the clip was going around. The clip was a very popular, element in the Slide for Von campaign that was going on. And they pretty much explained that, like, the confidential witness is going to testify that Durk either saw the clip or was aware of it, and that basically there was a conversation basically saying that, like, this whole 6ix9ine Whack 100 conversation was, like, very, very negative to Durk's mindset. It was a big part of why he wanted to go and slide for Von. When people...
I didn't need to hear that, bro. I wanted to keep the respect I have for Lil Durk. That is absurd. Lil Durk, do you understand how dumb and stupid you gotta be to fall for that trick? That's the oldest trick in the book. That's the oldest trick in the book. Lil Durk had a $20 million record deal. He was coming home to his kids every night. He had India, a baddie, in his bed every night, and platinum records, and a #1 album. And he allowed 6ix9ine, who was cold as ice, who was falling off, who had completely ruined his face card in hip hop, who nobody wanted to hear from anymore. He allowed somebody who was down on their luck to trick him out of his position when he was at the highest of the highs in hip hop. You can't be this stupid. You can't. Durk, I refuse to believe, because I still want to respect you, bro, that you crashed out because 6ix9ine said go slide for Von.
Nah, I think he was gonna do that shit regardless, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He was gonna do that shit no matter what. It probably sped up the the time frame, or maybe he wouldn't have. Maybe he'll just like hold off long enough to where it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And people start talking about it. But he needs to just leave that shit alone, bro. He needs to leave that shit alone. Like Vaughn got shot, and it was it was self-defense, wasn't it? Wasn't that the case? It was self-defense, and they got away with it, and everyone was good. It's like, Damn. You know what I'm saying? It was handled in court of law, man. Yes. He wilded out. He got shot. And it was self-defense. Should have just let it go, bro. Should just let it go. But that's the thing. Like, these street niggas, like, they be off perks and all type of craziness. And it starts messing up their brain. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why street culture is so tied to drug culture, because like you gotta do something to yourself to like mess up your conscience enough to where you just out here wilding and don't care. You really have to like rewire your brain. You feel me? And that's why a lot of them be on these drugs, and they do the drugs, and you know it keeps them from losing their sanity. You know what I mean?
6ix9ine tells Lil Durk, crashing out because a Mexican with rainbow hair. Grown man, by the way, left your family for Instagram comments.
Oh my god. Oh my god. 6ix9ine a demon. 6ix9ine a demon, bro. I saw a comment. Somebody said 6ix9ine is an agent of chaos. I'm not gonna lie, yes, but so is everybody else. They said 6ix9ine is an agent of chaos, and Durk fell for the bait. He said 6ix9ine and Whack 100. Like, yes, they are an agent of chaos in the street culture, but to average people that ain't doing no street shit, they exposing this shit for not making sense. And Whack 100, he looking into everybody's shit, bro. Whack 100, he gotta be working for that fucking FBI. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if an agent of chaos is getting niggas locked up for doing bad things, they would kind of be like an agent of peace. Huh? That makes sense?
Yo, you can't. Hey, listen, man. If this ain't your wake-up call, man, to lead the streets and the internet alone, bruh, this should be your wake-up call, man. All right? You gonna be the biggest B in the world if you don't crash out, and the minute you crash out, you the biggest dummy. So you gotta choose, man, right? You either a B that's free and up millions, or you the biggest gangster who's behind bars for life. You choose. I'd rather be the biggest B that's free and enjoying my wealth.
Fact.
If I'm Lil Durk.
That I didn't get a chance to tell you about earlier. One of the biggest things that I'm seeing everybody talking about since we got the update was that there are officially 35...
Bro, not the prime in the back. See how much prime paying your ass, boy? Anyway.
Witnesses that the government are planning to bring forward towards Durk. The judge was shocked at this.
Yo, this nigga different, bro. This nigga got King Von on his wall, bruh. Red lights, bro. This nigga might work for the FBI too, boy.
When the prosecution said we got 35 witnesses, the judge went, 35? And they said, yeah. But they said, look, some of them we're going to get through quickly. They explained who some of the witnesses that they were calling were, and it was really interesting. And to be honest, some of the people that they're bringing, they got a lot of history. So apparently, one of the people that they want to bring is a detective in Chicago who has a lot of experience with gang cases, with the Black Disciples, Gangster Disciples. And apparently, this gang detective in Chicago has actually arrested Lil Durk in Chicago before. Now, they said that they weren't actually going to, or they weren't allowed to bring that up. That wasn't... The fact that he had arrested Durk back in the day wasn't something that they said that they wanted to bring up. That just was by the by. But this is a gang expert that they want to bring. In addition to that, they apparently said, look, we're going to get through some of them quickly. For example, they said that one of the people that they wanted to bring forward was some kind of detective, or not a detective, but basically they said that somebody was going to come along with accompanying evidence, and that evidence was going to be surveillance footage from the San Diego airport, where basically, like, the hitmen had been flown out from Chicago to San Diego rather than LA. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if they thought that would help them, like, evade detection, or it would help them not get caught if they landed in San Diego and drove up to LA to commit this murder. It doesn't really make sense. But, like, those are just, like, a couple of the witnesses that we found out that want to be brought forward. There were kind of witnesses on the other side that were discussed. You know, there's basically, like, the gang expert that arrested Durk back in the day. Drew Findling did an amazing masterclass in court where he basically said, well, we've got our own gang expert that I know that the state don't want to include. So basically, we'll withdraw our gang expert if you withdraw your detective. And to be honest, the judge was going for it a little bit. The judge was basically like, look, it's kind of an all or nothing deal. And what was so interesting is the judge basically said to Drew Findling, if you submit everything that you're going to ask these experts, I'll go over it, and then I'll let you know it's either all or nothing. It's either both or not. And I just explained it in a longer video on my channel, Trapmore Ross, that I'm about.
A lot of these trials recently got gang experts. Now, the reason why a gang expert, I guess, is important is because the gang expert is going to come. He's essentially going to, like, name or label, like, why Quando Rondo and Lil Durk got beef, like, where this started issues. You know, he's going to dive deep into Lil Durk, like, text messages, see certain terminology, and then testify what those terminology mean. Testify like what this means in gang terms, right? Like, you know, like how the hierarchy of a gang works, how Lil Durk can still be involved even though Lil Durk is not there. And the reason why a gang expert more specifically is valuable, right, to the prosecutor during this specific trial is because apparently, like, the judge ruled, right, that a phone that was seized from Lil Durk in an unrelated incident can be used at trial. Right, so they're gonna take a lot of messages, a lot of evidence, right? Like a bunch of things from this phone, and the gang expert is essentially gonna try to, like, cooperate whatever the Fed's agenda or narrative is for whatever they find in his phone.
Right, so I'm still outside the courthouse from the Lil Durk hearing, and there was another kind of not so great piece of news for Durk. I mean, really, this was actually very bad news. It was ruled that this evidence that was on his phone, remember we heard about he had a phone that was taken from him after he was this victim of a home invasion in 2021. You know, he had fired shots into the air, and allegedly, you know, the cops basically said that they had probable cause to seize his phone to investigate because things weren't really adding up.
And they never gave his shit back. Yo, shit like this, you gotta know that you got, like, skeletons in your closet, deep in your closet, bro. They still have your phone from 2021, bro. 2021. Prime time Durk.
Even though he was the victim of an alleged home invasion, they said that he'd been reckless and fired the shots into the air. Now, they held on to that phone from 2021. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, because it happened in Atlanta, they had kind of, you know, tried to crack the phone. They had got, like, a very basic, you know, cracking of the phone where it was in a, they described it as like a first unlock mode. So if you turn your phone on, off, and you turn it back on, you know, you're in a first unlock. It hasn't been unlocked yet, right? So if your phone is in that state, what it basically means is that they can't get everything. They can't get all the messages. They can get all your images. They can get the thumbnails. They can get screenshots, but they can't get the actual messages. So Durk and his team were basically trying to argue that because the phone had been held onto for 5 years, the FBI filed a federal search warrant for the phone all the way in June 2026, that they shouldn't be allowed to use that evidence, and it was gathered improperly. This was an L for Durk. The judge basically said, look, it seems like the cops acted in good faith. They had good reason to look at the phone, to seize the phone, to go through the phone back then because of the reckless shots that were fired into the air. It's not the FBI's fault. It's nothing to do with the FBI that the phone...
The reckless shots in the air? I'm not gonna lie, if niggas break into my home and I shoot in the air, y'all shouldn't be able to take my phone because of that. I'm not gonna lie. That actually sounds kind of idiotic. They broke into my home and me using self-defense, I ain't even shoot at nobody. I just shot in the air just to scare them off. And y'all gonna take my phone looking into me. That sounds crazy to me. I ain't gonna lie. That's nutso.
Was held onto for so long. The FBI asked for that information in good faith, and the judge even said that if they continue trying to get hold of all of the other contents of the phone that weren't available yet, if they get them between now and the trial, which is in like a couple of weeks, he said, well, if the feds manage to get all of the information off those phones, then we're gonna have to revisit it then and decide whether I'm gonna be allowing them to look at all that stuff. And it sounds like that is going to be able to be used against him. And the contents of the phone was pretty damning. It was, you know, photographs, screenshots. Apparently there was a screenshot of a conversation where they were trying to get Lil Tim's address, and the government basically said, yeah, that we have the metadata to show that screenshot was 2 days after Lil Tim was released on house arrest. So they were tracking his movements. It sounded like the stalking was taking place.
I'm gonna say this one more time, right? Because we go back and forth between Lil Durk is cooked, Lil Durk is not cooked. What I'm gonna say is this, man. All right, Lil Durk might have some action at beating this murder case, right? Because Lil Durk hasn't really talked about this murder case. They don't really got much evidence on Lil Durk in regards to this murder case. Lil Durk might have some action in regards to this murder case. But the RICO, they already got filed and waiting for Lil Durk after this. It's over with, bro. It's done, man. there's communication of y'all tracking King Von's killer, like Lil Tim, after he got out of jail and was on house arrest. You guys are sending messages back and forth. Quando Rondo tried to squash the beef. You told Quando, make peace with this switch. Oh, nah, man. When this Rico hit, it's going to be bad. But Lil Durk might have some action at this murder case, man. I just can't believe that Lil Durk is this dumb to crash out over 6ix9ine. Y'all let me know.
Yeah, he was going to be cooked regardless, though. It wasn't even about the 6ix9ine shit. I feel like these street niggas just doing too much shit. Like, you can't get away with shit like you used to. You just can't. Especially, they got flock cameras now, every corner. Nigga, they know where you at. They know you. They're on your ass everywhere. You feel me? You got your phones. You got all this information out there. Like, there's no getting out of, like, this. Like, you doing crimes now is just, like, it's pointless. You just playing a game where it's like, hopefully they don't look deep enough into some shit because they got other shit to look at, and hopefully they never get to it, or maybe they get to it in 10 years. You feel me? And yeah, that's what you're hoping on. You feel me? They had your phone since 2021. Old drills. You feel me? Drills you forgot about. You don't even remember. You don't even remember you told niggas to slide and niggas was sliding. Back in 2021. You're cooked. You're done. But yeah, the Rico case is really going to fire his ass up, even if he get away with this. So I'm not going to lie, all these cases that he got stacked against him, this shit might not finish for another motherfucking 5 years, bro. He might have him a quick little 5-year ski span sitting in there. But I did see that 6ix9ine was antagonizing Lil Durk some more as of late. You feel me? Based off of this information, I do want to pull that video up. Let me see. Now this was dropped 7 hours ago. You feel me? So 6ix9ine is on another run, antagonizing all the street dudes and saying that it doesn't make sense, and saying he won ultimately. He beat them. Bro. And yeah, this interview was with academics, but let's see some of the things that 6ix9ine was saying, man.
If I was in, they made fun of him, right? When he didn't slide, they made fun of him. Now that he slid and is in jail, they making fun of him. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. I won. Nigga, look at me. You know something I say? I won. I'm smarter than y'all, bro. They made fun of him, right? If I was in Durk's position, right? When we first got indicted for the fucking murder for hire, I would have quickly lawyered up OTF Vonnie, OTF Jam, because now we part of one firm. You know how it goes.
Okay.
That one firm controls.
I agree with that.
Listen to me.
Hold on, I said that and a lot of people didn't get it. Because
but listen to me. Let me see. When you got a dream team, right? If I got Lance Lazaro, Don Florio, Ian Niles, right? They dream team, right? But one is on me, one is on my mans, the other one is on my mans, and then their paralegals is on them. Ain't no way you gonna tell because everything's gonna get back to me.
I agree. No, I agree with that one.
If I was in Durk's position,
this nigga kind of smart. I'm not gonna lie. 6ix9ine always been smart, but he snitched. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did snitch. However, he a smart nigga. He was too smart. 6ix9ine was too smart to fall for the street nigga propaganda, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, yo, screw all that. I'm snitching because these try to kill me. I don't even care. It is what it is. And then look at him. He rich in his big ass house, still doing whatever the fuck he wants. He did win. You
had so much to say about somebody else's situation. Now what you gonna do?
All right.
What you gonna do?
Let me ask you a question.
You had so much to say.
Will you ever get over or could forgive the people who probably talk down on you?
Hold on, real quick. Tell your chat this, right? Would y'all rather be, I just pulled the shit up right here.
Oh, you can see it?
Would y'all rather be real niggas to complete 9-to-5ers, UPS workers, Amazon factory workers, blunt rollers, and laying on the couch and waiting for academics to post, or be a fucking broke free nigga? Would you rather be? Troll with your cat niggas, troll with your answer. I'm not the one in jail though. I won, nigga. Yeah, nigga. So comment that, nigga. Your comment ain't gonna free that man, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga.
Your fruit jams in the chat. What up? Will you ever?
Oh my god, bruh. This man 6ix9ine. He did what he did and then he got out, bro. He did what he did and then he got out. And he free. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately all this street, it's gonna keep you in the limelight. It's gonna keep you famous. But at what cost? Like, street niggas should not be famous. It's two things that don't make sense. They don't add up. How you a street nigga and you famous? Too much shit going on. Too much light. And yeah, what you do in the dark will always come to light, man. But you guys let me know what you guys think about this situation. Do you think Durk's getting out? Do you think he's cooked? Do you think he's fried? But yeah. Anyway, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And nobody told you today. I love you. Peace.